everyone, this is Kim from Kim's Nest, and today I want to start out by saying thanks to Regina over at the Cutting Cafe for choosing me to be on her video design team. I'm really excited and I feel really honored to be able to do this. And so today's video is going to be using one of her stamps. We're going to be using the coffee bean stamp. This is it comes in brown, black, and clear, and you just print these are digital stamps that you just print off onto your computer, so you can print them off and use them as much as you want. And then the next stamp that we're going to be using is going to be from the Got Coffee stamp set, and we're going to be using Where Have You Been Lately stamp, and then we're also going to use from the same Got Coffee stamp set, we're going to use the sentiment Let's Meet for Coffee. Sorry I sound a little funny today. I have a bit of a cold, but I wanted to get this video out there for you. I've been promising you guys a new video for a while. Okay, I'm going to try to show you this real quick. What I did was I just cut out to make it a little bit smaller to fit on my plates. I cut out the image that I wanted, which is Where Have You Been Lately. You're going to take your A plate, B plate. You're going to place your image onto your B plate. Take your nestability. This is the next to the largest of the circles. You're just going to push, you're going to place this edge that has the ridge, you're going to place that facing down. Line it up on your image where you want it. Place your C plate on top of that, and then you're going to run that through your Cuttlebug. Now what I do is I just flip that over, because you can also emboss around the edges with this. And what I do is I take the Spellbinders rubber mat and I place over top of that. And I take, you can tell my B plate's pretty banged up, but I take my B plate, put on top of that, run that through my Cuttlebug once again. We're going to have a really cool image when we get done. And now you can see that we have a really nice beveled edge around our image. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to color our image with our Copic markers. And again, I'm using E59, which is walnut, E57, light walnut, and E55, which is light caramel. Now, I'm not an expert by any means on how the proper way is to use the Copic markers, so you can find other resources on the YouTube for that. But what I usually do is I like to try to imagine where my light source is going to be, and I'm going to pretend like the light source is going to be here. So this side's going to be a little bit lighter. And then you just start coloring. The great thing about the Copic markers is that they stay wet for a little while, so they're easy to blend. And you can just keep going over them with the colors until you get the look that you want. Then you're just going to blend that until you get the look that you want. I'm happy with this. Right, so I'm happy with this image, and so the next thing I want to do, you're going to put that aside and let it dry. For time's sake today, we're going to go ahead and do our next step, which is the glossy accents. I really want this bean to pop because it's the main image of my card. So I'm going to use the glossy accents. You can get this at Michael's or Hobby Lobby. And I'm just going to start and go around the edges. Got a bubble there. And I'm just going to fill this all the way in. Okay. Now that we have our image filled all the way in, the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take some color box chalk ink. This is Chestnut Roan. And again, I apologize for my voice that sounded kind of croaky. I'm just going to go around the edges just so this will pop. So now our image is ready to dry, and we're going to put that to the side. For time's sake, I already have gone and done mine, and this is what your what your image will look like once that has dried. I hope you can kind of see how that it kind of is a three-dimensional. It pops up and it shines, and it really stands out. The next thing I did was I used my Nestabilities. I used the scalloped circle and my Cuttlebug, and I cut out in the Bo Bunny paper, I cut out a scallop circle, and then in the next largest size of the regular round Nestabilities, I cut out a pink circle, and if you look real closely, you'll see that I also did the embossing around the edges. So we're just going to use our ATG gun. You can use whatever adhesive you prefer, but I prefer the ATG gun. And we're going to adhere these together. Now we have our main image ready for our card. So all we have to do next is get our card base ready. Get that lined up. Okay. And then the next thing we're going to do is we're going to take the pre-printed coffee beans that we printed off from the coffee bean stamp, and we're going to cut that at 4 3/4 by 3 1/2, which I've already done. And then we're going to take our striped Bo Bunny paper and cut that at 4 3/4 by 3 1/2 also. Now I'm going to take a piece of, this is ribbon by Paper Tray Ink, and it's called Dark Chocolate Polka Dots, and I'm just going to use a little bit of a cheater method here and fold that over. Now our image is ready to put on the front of our page. I want that to pop just a little bit, so I'm going to take my color box chalk ink again and just go around the edges. And then I like to pop mine up, so I'm just going to use some pop dots and place on the back. Okay, now that we have the front of our card, I always like to put a little something on the inside. So we're going to open up our card. We're going to take a piece of that same orange cardstock and add that. But I'm going to be putting it up. I'm going to be writing a little note. I always like to leave myself a place. And then I took, you can use, if you have a Cricut, you can make one of the note card, I can't remember what this, I think that's called a note card, but this image, and cut it in half. I actually have a die that I use to cut mine. I think this is by Quick Cuts. So I'm going to pop this up also. This is a little bit thinner, but I love to pop things up. And then the next thing that I did was I took out my sentiment page, and I want to do Let's Meet for Coffee, since this is for a friend that I haven't seen in a while. I just used a punch that I already had. This is 1 3/4 inch, and you can just put that right over it and punch that out. Okay, place that right there, and then I can write a cute little note right here.